Welcome to Daddies the podcast, featuring Eric and Greg. Join them each week as they hang with a new guest to talk about who they are, their why, and the stories that come up along the way. Thank you for being a part of the Daddies community.
Small town lore, I think, is some of my favorite lore. I'm assuming that Middletown, Delaware is probably not a bustling metropolis.
It's not yet. It's up and coming.
Okay, all right.
We're getting there.
For how many years has it been up and coming?
Honestly, like 10 years, and it has been booming. It's like it had nothing. It had nothing like 10, 15 years ago, except for maybe a Walmart. And now it has so much.
Everything.
So it really is up and coming, but it's not a big city.
No.
Okay.
And it never will.
The only one that Delaware has is Wilmington. That's our only big city.
Well, and that was, knowing as little as I do about Delaware, that was my assumption. It's not Wilmington, so it is a tiny little podunk town.
And it never will be.
Right. I'm asking because the town that I grew up in was like 1,400 people, and then the big city that we moved to when we switched schools, I think, was maybe like 28,000. Which is like one city block in New York. So.
So
that's
people,
what I meant by like small town lore. 1,400 was wild. Like it literally was like you knew everyone, you knew everyone's business, you knew everyone's dog's name. Like there were no secrets.
How is that? Is that great or terrible?
No, I mean it was. I have a very skewed perspective. Like growing up gay as a teenager, as a kid, knowing full well who I was and knowing full well that who I was surrounded by were not safe people to be around in that form and fashion, which they let me know regularly. And then also living on the other side of a gun shop, just didn't really bode well for that experience. So I do have a biased perspective on this, but there were good parts about it because we did know everyone. There was a level of safety, and so my parents granted my sisters and I a level of independence that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So we would just like take our bikes and we'd drive around town for miles and miles and hours and hours and hours and then just come home, or we'd just like pop over to a friend's house and be like, deuces, let's go to the playground, and we'd just be gone. And I think that if we lived in any other place, that wouldn't have happened. And that gave us a very good like sense of self, as far as I was able to go with that at the time, and sense of who we were from a young age.
Now, can I ask, did you used to leave the front door unlocked? Was that, or were serial killers still,
Well, we were surrounded by like farms and Amish people. So like there was no real threat of that, but there certainly was like, the whole teaching your kids lock the door before you leave, even though we probably knew that it was not a big deal if we didn't.
Mm-hmm. Like no one's going to rush home to go lock the door. Yeah.
How do you feel now about locking your door? Like, what do you lock the door as soon as you step in? Do you turn around and lock it, or do you just check it at night? Like, what's a good...
Again, skewed perspective on this. I live in the biggest city in the country.
Yeah.
So like I have always been a big door locker. The building I'm currently in, I don't have a choice because it's a digital fob situation. So like I close the door and it just is locked. So I've never really had the option to think about that. Also, a lot of apartment door buildings in New York, I can't speak to anywhere else because I've never lived anywhere else, have like the lock where it just locks automatically from the inside, even if you don't turn the key. So I've always done that. And I've always, whether there's been a doorman or not, the thing about apartments is that there are multiple barriers of entry into your apartment. So like you don't really have to think about that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess like
Greg,
for
are you
me,
asking because you don't lock your door or something?
No. I always lock my door because
okay.
you always hear those stories about like, and it's not necessarily like the front door, but like someone will go and take a shower and they left like the slider open and someone comes in and like slits someone's throat, or like, like
I don't always hear that.
I always make sure. Well, I don't. It happens.
It is a fear.
The thing that I just did hear of, literally not even 2 hours ago, is that there was a man, maybe about 30 minutes from my parents' house, who was just arrested for let's call it hoarding skeletons that he was digging up from a cemetery not too far away from where he lived.
You know what? I think I saw, was it like, they found like 30 or
no,
was
they
it?
found 114 different skeletons and mummified bodies in various...
Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider?
Yes. In various states of composition and decomposition. There was one that they said the pacemaker was still on. So that is that is the other version of like, don't lock your door because this guy could just come in and kill you and drag you off to his basement.
Would you feel salty if you were like 115? Like, I'd want to be like 1 through 10. Like, let me be, but
like at the end, I'd be pissed if I wasn't first.
Well, right. Well.
Why wasn't I your first choice, bitch? Dig my ass out.
Hear me out, though. Unless it's like a podcast where up to 100 sucks, and then after that, it starts to get good. So maybe you want to be like 101.
Yeah, but like, what define it gets good?
Well, I don't know how it works when you're dead.
Well, what perspective are we speaking from? Are we speaking from the perspective of like, I'm the dead person and it's not good for me because I'm dead? So
okay, so hold on. Was he killing them or just taking the skeletons?
Were dead. He was like digging them up and going into mausoleums and taking them out.
So is that a no-no? I mean,
yes. It's not a war crime.
Depends on what you mean by no.
well, so you're not going to jail for murder.
No, just like a couple other things.
Defiling a skeleton.
Wrongful treatment of a corpse. Like, I don't remember the rap sheet, but his bail's $1 million, and I thought that was really interesting.
$1 million? That's crazy.
Yeah. Is it?
Wow. Okay, all right, hold on.
Hang on a minute, Greg.
Okay. Greg thinks this guy should be back out on the streets.
Yeah, so what did he do that was wrong?
I didn't get that far, and to be honest with you, knowing that it was a white man, I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's
because I think we all know the answer to that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just not going to put that in the universe because I didn't hear that. I didn't get that confirmed. I don't know that for a fact, but like my money's on it.
Well, let's play a game. Who's going to play him in the Netflix series that will eventually come? Of course. Yep. He's already lined up.
Yep. He's in negotiations right now.
He's calling Netflix. He called Netflix first. Hey, Netflix, I just heard of this guy.
Hey, I just saw this news story. Can I play him?
How do you think that works over at Netflix? Because they're on it. I mean, like,
I think that there's movie makers that go to Netflix.
Okay, so let me step in here because this is actually like a thing that I know about.
Okay.
So like for someone like Netflix who has unlimited money, the process of filmmaking can happen much, much, much faster. I just shot a documentary and that took about 3 months of prep work. And really what that was meetings with like a director of photography, executive producer, me being a producer as well, and then like just getting scheduling lined up, organizing the things that we need, what like camera equipment, lighting equipment, sound equipment do we need, how many days do we think we can shoot from, let's schedule this out, coordinate it with everyone who's going to be in it. There were spreadsheets. There were many spreadsheets and lists. And that took about 2-3 months because all of us have jobs otherwise. We all make money elsewhere. And it was just kind of like, okay, I guess like next Thursday I can meet and we can do, and like that took us 2 months. It took us 2 days to shoot it. And it's been a month now, a little over a month, almost 2 months. And we're still in the editing process. If I had $10 million and I didn't have to work otherwise, I could have cranked that out in a week.
Mm-hmm. So are you telling me that money can make you do things quicker?
Oh,
is that
here? Listen, let me. Okay, I have a very controversial, I think, take. I grew up like doing theater and being a performer and going all over the country and working, and none of those places paid very well, right? But I made it work. And that was always my badge of honor, that I made it work. Like, this is how much money we're making. Cool. My life is very inexpensive. I'll just make it work. And I did for like 18 years. And then I hit a point where I was like, you know what? I'm really tired of making it work. Someone pay me. And so I kind of like transitioned. I made a very hard line decision. It was a little gradual where I was like, okay, I'm no longer going to do this type of work. I'm done bartending. I'm done doing events. I'm done doing anything food and beverage related. Don't even ask. I'm like, it's a no. Don't email me ever again. And I just kind of like worked my way into getting back. I say back, but it was like 20 years later, into corporate finance. And so that is what I'm doing now. And it pays very well. And I'm very happy to be here. And it has made my creative life exponentially easier because I can just be like, there's the budget. Let's do it. Now, granted, lower budget things. I'm not like cranking out millions of dollars to make films or anything here, but like it does in fact make being creative easier. It would be even more easy if I had more of it and more time and then we could do more things.
Mm-hmm. It's a snowball effect.
It is. And it's such a stupid mentality that that me was also guilty of, where it's like you have to be like poor and struggling to be successful as an artist. And that's such shit. And I really just wish that people would get out of that, because you really don't have to. And you never did. And it's a lie. And just go make a lot of money somewhere that you can funnel into what you actually want to do.
Well, what you're saying sounds just like any musician, like any starving musician that goes on tour, and it's 4 guys in a van, and they drive from venue to venue, and they just what you described, all live that way. Hey, did we make enough money on T-shirt sales to buy dinner? Did we get enough to buy gas to get to the next place?
Well, and it's funny because now, like, when we talk to like musicians, they've all like still will tour, but they all work other jobs. I think the only musician that we've ever talked to that now is just still a musician is Jarrett from Bowling for Soup. Like, he's still just doing that and making money from that. But everyone else, they're all working other gigs,
Well, and also that guy was like in a band that people know. Like, right. I know that band. I'm familiar with them. I listened to them growing up. So, like, yes, he has some kind of where he can afford to do that.
And like with him too, it's fascinating because like Eric was he voices Chucky Cheese, the mouse.
That's his other job. That's his side gig. That's like driving. Gig. That's like driving Uber. That's his drive. That's his.
I was going to say that's his DoorDash.
Yes, but like I mean, even like for Eric and I, like we wouldn't be able to have a podcast if we didn't work other jobs, because we wouldn't be able to afford this shit to do it. Or we could do it, but it would be like way scaled down and I just different, it would just be a totally different thing. So yeah, like the starving thing, meh, I don't want to.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Who needs to be starving?
I don't want to.
No, I don't want to either. And I do think that like, there's so much power, and especially now, I just saw an interview with Carrie Coon where she talks about this too. A version of this where like we're no longer in the entertainment space of being discovered. It's not happening. No one is discovering you. We've democratized every single form of entertainment platforms too much for anyone to really be discovered in the way that we think of, where they used to have like A&R executives, or like someone came to a festival and like plucked you out of oblivion because they liked your film or your short or whatever. Like those things don't exist anymore. And so you have to have a budget to be able to put into marketing, to put into a publicist, to put into a social media campaign in like a real intelligent way that is planned out and thoughtful. And maybe you don't do that and you strike gold and you're lucky because a couple TikToks or 2 take off and you get someone's attention to end up on the Kelly Clarkson show. Like, that's great. That can still happen. But if you look at all the people who have made it, they all come from rich families. They all come from generational wealth. So like, what does that tell you? If you don't have the means and you have the talent and the want, you have to go find a way to make real money to put it into that, even if it is not the thing that you want to do.
Is it weird now that we live in a time where like you're getting discovered, not even discovered, but like you're just on TikTok and that one video goes viral? Like, it's such a weird fucking thing where it used to be like, I don't want to say like new people don't have like talent, but like it used to be like you had to be really good at your craft and not have a viral video. Like, yeah, you were playing that concert, you were making that film, and it was just fucking luck of the draw.
I really need to really quick just kind of like unintentional plug. Someone I know, well, I don't really know them, I'm a fan of theirs, wrote a musical called Oscar at the Crown, and it played here in New York pre-pandemic. It went over to the Edinburgh Music Theatre Festival. It played on the West End, and I just have my fingers crossed so hard that it will come to Broadway. Because the show premise is that Julie from the OC predicted the end of civilization, and Andy Cohen is the catalyst for the beginning of the end of society by starting the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And because of that, society has crumbled and all the artsy kids have been cast out into like the desert, and they live in warehouses, and they parade around talking and singing about Oscar Wilde. And there's more to it than that, but that is the base premise of it. And it's all based in like shitty reality TV rotting our brains and making everyone stupid.
Wait, that sounds so good.
It's the best.
Hilarious.
And there's a concept album for it on Spotify, and it is truly some of the greatest music I've ever heard. It's like EDM, dance, sing your face off. Like the guy who's singing is crazy. His voice is sick. And like I love it. It's one of my favorites.
I love Eric popped his Broadway cherry like 6 months back. We saw Anne Juliet, and
it's so fun.
It was great.
It was great.
Really good.
I saw that in London, and I was just like grinning like an idiot the whole time. It was so fun.
So did it was it originally in London? Is that where it premiered?
It played first. Yep. Yeah, then it came here.
And it was, I mean,
did you see it here? Or did you see the tour?
We saw it in New York.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so Bill Sherman invited us out, and so he did what, like he's the musical supervisor, so we were going to New York to shoot a concert, and he was like, hey man, you should come see my show. And we went, and it was such a fun time, and it was, I think, a good entrance for Eric into Broadway.
It's not something that I would ever say, I gotta go to New York and go to a Broadway show. That's not something now I would. It was awesome. Like it's like that's a thing to do.
Well, and I think jukebox musicals are a really good gateway drug into really appreciating Broadway, because it brings in things that you're already familiar with.
Right.
And that show, I mean, like, you know, Max Martin just has never written a bad song in his life. And like every single song is just good.
Banger after banger after banger.
And like the fun little like swapping around of the story of Romeo and Juliet, like just so fun. And like the thing I get irritated with theater people is that like I wish that they were more like just like your regular audience member. Because a lot of times theater people go into shows and they want to have like some kind of like existential experience that changes their whole fucking life. And like, let's be so real. Anne Juliet is not changing anyone's life, but it's fun and it's entertaining. And there's 1000% a space for that. And like, not everything needs to be Othello. Like, calm down. Like, can we please just have fun here?
Well, and I think, that's the issue. Like, fucking music, it's all the same. Reading a book, well, my mind's not blown, or this is too simple, so I hate it. And not everything has to be fucking deep. It can just be fun. I'll tell you, the first show that I ever saw on Broadway was Kinky Boots, and my wife really wanted to go because she loves Brendan Urie. She loves Panic at the Disco. He was doing the run. But then when we went, it was fantastic. But then there were also like the other people in the show. We became fans of theirs because of just how fucking talented, obviously, you have to be to be. It is. It's so cool to see. Or it's like, oh wait, I recognize this person from this TV show, or or whatever. And that's what I really like about it. I just like, there's something about just live music, whatever, that's just fucking exhilarating to me.
Yeah, Broadway really is fun. And I think also like in the era of AI here, where like you're scrolling through shit and you're like, I can't tell if that's AI or not anymore. And like, I think I'm pretty good at that. And I still get like, like live theater and live performance and live music is going to really, I think, have a renaissance soon, because people are going to be so sick of feeling their brains rot away by looking at too much AI and not knowing the difference. So I have hope. I have hope in that sense for live entertainment, that like that's going to be seeing a good little uptick.
I've heard comedians say, like Dave Chappelle just put out a new stand-up special, and I've heard people, him included, say it's not the same to watch my stand-up on a TV. It's a totally different experience going into a theater or a comedy club or something and watching somebody actually. It's like the mood, the setting, the people around you, just everything about it goes into it. I'm sure it's the same exact way for theater or Broadway or a play. It absolutely is.
There actually like is a really kind of ongoing conversation within the Broadway theater community kind of all the time, where producers are so afraid to have like content go online. And before that, it was like they were so afraid of having bootlegs get leaked onto the internet back before like TikTok and Instagram Reels were a thing. There used to be people on the subways that would like sell bootlegs of Broadway shows and films. And they were so afraid of it because they're like, oh, that's going to hurt our ticket sales. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, girl, no. Like, Hamilton just launched their, fourth tour, and they have Broadway running still and the West End running still, and they have it, you can go watch it right now on Disney Plus. Like, that didn't hurt ticket sales at all. At all. Because again, it is one thing to watch it on Disney Plus. And yes, it's the same content, it's the same material. But when you go and sit in the theater and watch it, it's just all immersive, inclusive. You feel it differently. And that is, again, to my point of like AI slop kind of like flopping its way around the internet now. Like, we're going to want to feel things. And especially like I also talk about the Wicked movie in this same way, where like they very easily could have used CGI and animation for 100% of that movie, but they built a train and they planted like 7 million tulips over like Switzerland or wherever they filmed that. And they built a brick road, and they had an entire town that they built that was a practical set that people walked through and touched and did things, and it was physical. And I think that is one of the things that you subconsciously feel watching that movie, because it's not just a green screen. You're watching like real things. And that you can't replace that.
Yeah. That's something that I'm a big Star Wars fan, and the old Star Wars movies, everything was practical. There was no CGI or this much CGI, and they used it as sparingly as possible, mostly for budget reasons. But as soon as that shit started to get cheap, like George Lucas made episodes 1, 2, and 3, and they were super CGI. And not that those are necessarily, I won't say that they're bad movies. Some people do. I won't say that. But you can tell.
I've never seen them.
That's okay. It's not for everybody.
You're not missing much.
It's not for everybody.
No, I mean I've seen no Star Wars. I've seen 0 of them.
You're not missing a whole. You're not missing much.
Okay,
all right. Should watch a little Star Wars.
Maybe just for like the cinematic history of it all, maybe. But
right. I mean, you already know the Luke, I am your father. If not, spoiler alert.
You know it now.
Wait, what?
But then there's just some really poor uses of CGI, which I think have people jaded. Even CGI use is jaded to watch like movies with cool looking things because it doesn't look very good. There was CGI. Remember the old Transformers movies? They looked amazing.
That was CGI?
They looked fantastic.
Wait, they didn't build Transformers?
Right? They're actually aliens that came down. And
But like, think of like even like, okay, one of my favorite movies is the remake of The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. Like, that was all practical, and how fucking cool that looked. But then like, do you remember the Expendables with every
action star ever?
And they used CGI blood for some fucking reason, and it just looked really stupid.
Okay. Do you remember the show Sparta? I think it's called Sparta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stars, I think, right? Or was it
Spartacus?
Yeah.
No.
Or Sparta.
No, Sparta.
Sparta. It was a show. The CGI blood in that, I thought, was actually kind of great.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
Because it was stylized, and it worked with it, because it was like the slow motion like cut and then like CGI blood that was just very fake and looked like detergent. But like it was cool, and it works. And I think that if you're going to make a film and you're going to make the choice to use something like CGI blood, and I feel like this is missing in theater a lot, but also probably translates over to film, where we're lacking the cohesion of being able to like take a project, be like, this is what this is, and run with it, instead of making all these little cuts and things to apologize for what it is, in hopes that like, some dumb fuck from the Square States that isn't going to get it in the first place will buy a ticket. Like don't do that. Make the thing, and just let the right audience find it. Like Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. Like let's do that.
Mm-hmm. What was did they was it also Star Wars that they redid the scene because they made Han Solo seem too violent, so they CGI'd?
Han shot first. So George Lucas is also very famous for going back and re-editing his movies and releasing them as the new true form of the movies. The most notable change that he made was, and it's such a pedantic, like Star Wars, I'm a big Star Wars fan. Star Wars fans fucking suck. They're the worst. They are terrible people. I'm not including myself in one of the
Swifties of film world.
Yes.
They really fucking are. They really are.
Like, they're really bad. It's really toxic. I'm just I would say in that regard, a casual enjoyer, a massively casual enjoyer of Star Wars films. But yes, Han Solo apparently shot first in the original, and then he re-edited, they refilmed it, and it's like fractions of a second. But I guess some nerd broke it down and could see the difference. So,
and his like head like kind of slides now.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, he dodged the bullet that was pointed at him under the table. Yeah, whatever. Not happening.
But like, or was it? So I heard, I don't know how true this is, the original Santa Claus was supposed to have Tim Allen shooting Santa off the roof and killing him. Because you know how Tim Allen is, right? And Disney, they were like, yeah, no one's going to... This is a kid's movie. Like, that's way too violent.
Right,
it was like, no, that's
Santa
super
Claus.
funny because
I don't know. You ever see Bambi?
Yeah, well, Disney, they do be killing a lot of...
Yeah.
I mean, but I think
but not Santa.
Live action, Tim Allen blasting.
Murder of Kris Kringle.
And I mean, that was the same year Toy Story was coming out. So I don't think that they are going to make Buzz blow Santa away or blow Santa, depending on the
They
version
also have
of
an
it.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. That's a different movie.
Different movie.
Santa Claus XXX.
Santa Claus ho 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 down my chimney hole.
Which I'm pretty sure is a fucking movie.
Yes, it is. It is. You don't have to check.
Google is free. We can look. I'm not going to, but you're welcome to.
I'm actually doing it right now, pulling it up. But before we get too into the weeds, though, film festival. So
yeah, speaking of films,
I want to talk about the Remission Film Festival, right? I saw you were posting some stuff about it. I was trying to go through your socials today to kind of like, get an understanding of who you were.
A menace.
So would you mind talking a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so I like film and television. I grew up in entertainment, and I also almost died of cancer. And so I kind of have gotten to a point now where I have found a way to kind of mesh all those things together. Last year, I was nominated to be a Visionary of the Year for Blood Cancer United, former Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And by doing so, like, that means you get to head a fundraising team in 2026 in the second quarter, and first into second quarter, and do all these things. And one of the things that they said to me was like, fundraising, you can do it however you want. People throw events, people do all kinds of things. They have like parties and whatever. And I was like, oh, like I could throw an event. That could be kind of fun. What will we do? Like, I don't drink. So my first thought isn't like cocktail party. A couple years ago it would have been, but not now. And so I just was like, I've been to a number of film festivals. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some are really good. And I just thought, like, wouldn't it be cool if we got together a bunch of people who have written something about cancer, or who've had it, or who actively have it, and make a festival for them. And at first it was just going to be a one-off. And there she is. There's me. And it's kind of morphed into like something that's going to be every year, and every year it's going to benefit a different organization that helps cancer patients and survivors. But yeah, it's coming up, and we have a bunch of submissions, and we have a great jury here full of really fabulous people, myself included. And we have we have our work cut out for us. We've gotten a bunch of submissions, and I have to watch all of them, and I'm very excited for it. Most of them are from people in film and television who have had cancer and have written and shot something about it. And it's the only film festival of its kind, which I think is crazy. that there isn't another film festival that focuses on cancer. Like, what are you talking about? How is this? How did that happen? The proceeds from ticket sales or submission fees are going to go to Blood Cancer United. And of course, there'll be a donation action during the film festival itself. We're still kind of piecing all the details together. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's been a big lift and it's felt really great, and everything is kind of just falling into place, which again, like if you build it, he will come kind of thing. And yeah, it's April 17th this year in New York City.
That sounds amazing. It sounds it sounds like a really big undertaking.
You know, like yes, it is, because there's a lot of things to think about, but I've done enough producing and I've done enough event stuff that it's just kind of like, okay, well, we have to have these things, and like run of show is this, and what do we have to do to fill those slots? Okay, go. And I'm working with a really great person. Her name is Madeline Chandler. Like, what a star. Game changer meeting her. She has gotten a sponsorship. She's got us donations of like food items or like artisan items that we're able to raffle off for fundraising purposes and whatnot. And she's just been so integral and helpful. And, you know, it's going to be a really good night. I'm very excited about it.
It's such an interesting, like, I guess, thing to think about. It's got to, having cancer or, you know, having a near-death experience has to change the way that you think about everything. Your whole outlook on life puts everything into perspective, would you say?
I think that's putting it mildly. Yeah, I mean, the entire reason why I do any of this, right, is because like I had a really rare and aggressive cancer that nearly killed me. And coming out of it, I felt completely insane. I was like, yes, this looks like my life, but what the fuck do I feel right now? And so it was very jarring to kind of be on the other side of that and being like, wait, I just thought I could get back to the way that things were. Like, I just thought this was going to be like having the flu. It's over, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Put it behind me. Let me get back to what I was doing before this interrupted and derailed my whole life. And that is in fact not what happens. And it took me a really, really long time to kind of piece all the pieces together. But this all started because I met someone who was freshly out of cancer. I, at that point, was about 2 or 3 years out, and they were a couple months out, and kind of articulated the same thing to me that I had never said out loud, that like I just felt off and everything felt weird, and like I hated my friends and my family and my job and my life, and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, okay, it's the two of us. We can't be the only two. And so I started reaching out to other people I knew who had cancer, and they all said the same thing. I was like, this is a thing. Why is no one talking about this? Why did I have to figure this out this way? There's no resources. There's no conversations about this. No hospital pointed me in any direction. No social worker pointed me in any of these directions. So that kind of launched me to write the book that I wrote, which is Cancer Musical Theater and Other Chronic Illnesses. That is out. And the whole purpose of that was to kind of detail what happened to me and then hit the point where I was cancer-free and then discuss what the fuck that feels like. And that is, we're working on adapting that for TV as a musical, because cancer is really fun and should be sung about.
But on the bright side,
like just a kick line of nurses, but like slinging chemo everywhere. But like it. You know, like I'm trying to create these things where all the things that I'm doing are connected, and the film festival very much is kind of like feels like the pinnacle of like all of these things coming to a head. Because again, similar to that conversation that was like, oh, I'm not the only person that feels this way. I'm certainly not the only person that works in entertainment who like has had cancer and has made something about it. And so I have found that to be incredibly true as well with the people who've emailed and submitted and asked questions and hit me up on Instagram or other social media platforms or messaged me through the website and just said like, I can't do it this year, but I want to do it next year. And this has like really motivated me to like write something and get something together to do this. And so I know that this is going to be a thing and it's going to be successful going forward. And I feel really good about it because it's just kind of been like, it's been a lot. It does change everything. It changes absolutely everything. It informs everything that I do. And in the beginning, I didn't want to talk about it at all. I didn't want to acknowledge that I was a sick person, that I had cancer, that I went through this whole thing. People treat you weirdly because they don't know what to say. And you can't blame them. They don't know what to say. You know, what do you say to someone who just survived cancer? Oh my God, congratulations, you did it. And I just felt the whole time like I didn't really do anything. I just like went to my doctor's appointments and they did it for me. And I'm just kind of like, cool. Yeah. Can I feel the way I did 2 years ago again?
Yeah, I mean, it's so messy.
I can't even imagine because, like, I know, like, going to the hospital for like a week and then you leave and everything is like, you know, it's just go back to normal. So I can't even imagine what it's like to be near death and super sick and then just like, well, see ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Go live your life.
Yeah. Like, well, and I think the best way that I describe it kind of is like, you know, you have a support system around you 24/7, whether it's friends and family taking care of you at home, whether it's doctors, nurses, social workers, what have you at the hospital, telling you where to go, what to eat, what your medications are, where your appointments are, where your scans are, what room you're in. Here, eat this, don't eat that. You know, like everything is taken care of. And it's like that almost every day for however long you're in treatment. And then treatment's over and they're like, cool, I'll see you in a couple weeks for your follow-up. And like, you're like, thank God I don't have to come back to this place anymore. And then you go back to your apartment and you're like, cool. Can something go wrong so I can go back to the hospital, please? Like, it's really... It feels really crazy and really fucked up because of course that's bad. You don't want something to happen that gets fucked up, but like you kind of almost wish it because you don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, I guess I could go for a walk again today.
Well, you know, this is very wildly different, but what you were saying, I had similar feelings when my son was born, and you're in the hospital for a few days, maybe. And then they send you home with a baby that you've never done anything like this before. And you get home, and the whole time that you've been at the hospital, nurses coming through, checking everything. Like there's things that are happening, just kind of like it's moving along with you, and you're just going, oh, okay, yeah, cool, let's do this. And you get home, and it's just like, where's the handbook for this thing? Like, how do I take care of it?
I mean, I think we could argue that kids are kind of like cancer in a way. You know, like they're
most certainly
they're horrible.
Yes.
No, but I mean in the sense that like you do kind of go into the hospital as one person, and then this thing happens, and you leave, and it's like I am no longer whoever came through that door. And that is more so what I mean. Kids are tumors, but you know, whatever. I guess they're more like parasites. But
there's a time limit on them. They kind of detach after my son's 10.
After they're done projectile vomiting over everything, then you know.
Hey, look, I got my first enema at a hospital, and I was bound with that nurse as she was doing it. Wow. And we still keep in touch to this day.
You still talk to her?
Someone else has to do it. You know, I can't.
You can't do it yourself? God, men are useless.
I suck.
Shay gives herself an enema sometimes.
So she rolled me on my back.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, I'm going to.
On your back or your side?
I was on my side, definitely my left side.
Your left side.
There's a correct side.
Left side, and she but it's not like the enema that you get from the store. It was big, and she just shoved it up there, and she said, "Okay, hold it now for 5 minutes." And I was like, "I can give you like 30 seconds. That's all I got." and you know what?
Straight men are so weak.
I haven't had a shit. I haven't gone that good since.
Do you want an enema?
I'm not going to give you. I need a medical grade enema.
I think what you need is fiber.
Well, so I only you know what, we're about to get super personal. I shit maybe once every 10 days.
It's on that. So you do need fiber, is what you're saying.
Okay, so that started after I started using GLP-1, and so I take Metamucil.
It's on my counter. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, but also, like, I don't appreciate the fact that it gets super jelly if you don't chug it. It turns into like a gelatin.
A sandy gelatin. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yes. It's not like Miralax,
Eric, we're talking about the Metamucil, not anything else.
Not the enema.
Just to clarify.
It's not like Miralax where it like you can leave it in water. Like it like solidifies the water into this like weird jelly.
Yeah.
I don't know much about stool softener.
Well, I mean, it's a fiber supplement, but
it's a fiber supplement.
As a GLP-1 former user, I didn't actually get it prescribed. I bought it off the black market on the internet.
Big same.
Yeah, big same. It was so much cheaper. And I just kind of figured out how to constitute it myself and was like, okay, here we go. Needles. Let's do it. You can buy all this stuff online. And it was the same. I think I want to say maybe 3 months in, I was like, I haven't gone to the bathroom in a minute. And I was like kind of quasi dating this guy. I don't know if dating is the right word, but he was like, you should get a stool softener. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to eat more spinach. I'll be fine. Was not fine. And
you were indeed not fine.
I was indeed not fine. Ladies and gentlemen, he was not okay. And I had to get a stool softener. I had to start taking more fiber and that's so real. Similarly to, and not to loop cancer back into this, but like radiation, same thing. Radiation makes you constipated. I went 7 days.
Does it?
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I had it on my arm. It was nowhere near stomach anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? And so I went about 7 days without going to the bathroom. And then one day at the gym, sprints to the men's room.
Broke?
The dam broke and I broke the bathroom and I had to leave in shame.
Yeah, that's when I'm just not going to go back to the gym.
Do you just leave?
I just left.
If I clog your toilet, I'm not saying anything.
It wasn't clogged. I was just in there. Actively.
Hey, somebody should go check that toilet out. Someone really blew it up.
Actively working overtime in there for a really long time. And it, the men's room in that particular gym was near the front desk. And airflow travels and they knew. And so I just grabbed my things and left without saying. I was like, oh, no, I can't show my face here again.
That's why I don't go to the gym.
That's right. Me too. That's for that exact reason.
For that reason, I don't want to.
I have one in my building. I have no excuse. It's 30 seconds down in the elevator.
You know what? Get a Peloton treadmill, and we can be friends on there, and I'll virtually high five you.
Great. I hate cardio terrible, with a passion. So much hate for cardio. But yeah, I mean the GLP thing that's so real.
Well, and I was on the GLP-1 subreddit. Someone was like, "Well, I just take an enema every other day, and I don't know if you're supposed to use them that much, but I don't want to."
I have plenty of friends who do it every day.
Or like the coffee enemas,
oh God,
like you put coffee in there.
I don't know. I know alcohol, if you're a super alcoholic and then you die, but yeah. But coffee enemas, I thought were a thing, or is that just drinking coffee and then shitting? No,
it's a thing. Yeah. I've never done it. I have no intention of doing it, but
it's just good for me. If it goes through my mouth, I'd poop. It's good enough. It's like an enema.
No, but why is that? I have one sip of coffee and I'm like, gotta go.
Sometimes if I just smell coffee. Is somebody making a pot of coffee?
Boy, I have to shit.
Bodies are so weird like that because I guarantee you that is some kind of brain to stomach sense memory trigger. It has nothing to do with anything.
There's a phrase for that, I'm sure.
Is there?
Probably.
I'm sure.
If only there was some way we
Google is free. Let us.
If
only we had these small computer devices in our pockets that we could consult.
The internet's great,
but I guess we might never know.
I guess that's it.
I'm not going to go to bed tonight not knowing what that's called.
So for those of you listening, if you're taking GLP-1, take some sort of supplement.
You have to
shit, or you will be in pain all the time. So they started loading up the GLP-1 with B6 and B12, and with this new compound that I'm on, my stomach hasn't been as bad. I was waking up every morning to I would just sit in the shower with hot water on my belly for 30 minutes because I was in so much fucking pain.
Yeah.
I lost weight.
Yeah. I mean, look, I got to the point where I could feel it moving. It was the worst.
You were full of shit.
I
literally full of shit.
I literally was. And it was not my finest not my finest hour. You know, but they're effective, and we're finding out that they have really great, like, some adverse reactions that are actually positive. I successfully was able to stop drinking and kept that away because I started it. I was like kind of a holy hot mess, and when I started it, I like continued to drink, and then I hit a certain dosage where like I just was sick the whole time. And there was one night, it was March 27th. I came home, it was a Friday. I came home from work and I stopped at the liquor store and got those little pre-batched on the rocks cocktail things and ordered some dinner. And I sat in my living room with the TV on and I took like one or two sips of the drink and I was just like, I don't really want this. And my brain was like, you spent money on this, bitch, drink it. And so I had dinner and I drank the thing and I didn't even make it to bed before I was like throwing up all over the place. And I was like, that is the end of that. There we go. Cutwater.
Is it like these?
Yes, similar, but they come in, they come in like little glass twist top bottles.
Wait, Eric, are you drinking beer and
No, it's a martini. It's a Cutwater. Oh,
but I also have a beer. It's Friday. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But what is it? Beer before?
That's not real. That's not a real thing. Beer before liquor, never been sicker. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
Now, what about orange juice after brushing your teeth?
Then you've never been.
Have a problem.
Then you just die. Then you're just
then you make this face.
You're just a fucking weird person.
Ooh.
Damn it. So speaking of movies, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
On that note,
I'm not sure which. I'm not really sure what note that was, but
I don't know either. This episode has really just gone all over the place.
It's run the whole gamut.
I hope there wasn't anything you actually really wanted to talk about because we were all over. Yeah, we were definitely.
We hit the film festival, and I think that's important.
It is important.
That's
so I'm glad,
fine.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of. I feel fulfilled. I feel like I don't need to. We've talked about so many things. What else could we possibly talk about?
Greg also feels fulfilled.
I do feel fulfilled.
That's just because he hasn't taken in a week.
I haven't taken it. I am literally filled. But we will link the film festival. And what about your? You said you have a book. Is that available to purchase?
It is. Yeah, like Barnes and Noble and stuff like that. You can hop on the internets and buy that.
Perfect. I will post that as well. Awesome.
Please
well, thank you for taking your Friday to shoot the shit with us, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Great way to end the week.
Thanks for listening to Daddies the Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a review, and give us a like. We'll see you next time.